Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. A big change is coming. It's something that brings luck and protection. And also, you're taking it step by step, just like you should. So if there's something that you've been worried about as far as your pacing or your momentum, Divine says you're doing it exactly right. And the pace that you're going at and the direction that you're moving in is manifesting a very prosperous change for you. It's very lucky. And it's something that's been written as a part of your destiny. Okay, we're going to start with the tarot. Thank you, Spirit. I got a fan going. So, with my donations, I'm so grateful. I got a fan because y'all know I be hot up in here, right? I usually have my fan, my hand fan, but I got an automatic fan and I'm so happy because it's nice and quiet. So I hope that the mic doesn't pick it up too much. I have it on the lowest level. I might need to turn it up. We'll see. But, you know, sometimes noise like that can be really nice in the background. So we'll see how it works out. But I'm so grateful for my new fan. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. What is coming through for this beautiful being? What is coming through for this beautiful being? What do we need to know about the energy at this time? There's separation of some sort, but it's separation from something that felt heavy. Okay, this is emotional distance between you and someone else, but I was getting this vibe. I was picking up on this because I did a video. It's a short video that I'll share as well, and I'll link it, okay? But it's something about like there being an energy of distraction and heaviness, someone really wanting to be on your radar desperately, like desperately, wanting to remain relevant in your world. And it's because they really have nothing else. They have nothing else going for them. But it's like they're sinking. They're sinking fast. This is someone who has plotted and planned against you. But see, they're sinking, they're drowning, and you're walking away. And this isn't like someone that needs and deserves your help. They really don't need your help. You know, what they need is to learn how to help themselves. That's the problem. They've never gathered the courage to help themselves. They've been rescued way too many times before by people that they have tricked into thinking that the answer was to rescue them. For there to be any hope for this person, they must gather their own strength and deal with the consequences of their actions. But you're separating yourself from this. But there's also, because I'm looking at Mother Moon, this full moon here, and it's like there's divine intervention that's also bringing separation between you and this heaviness. Okay. And look, and we have the moon. There's something here that's hidden, that's going on behind the scenes, that's assisting you. It is divine intervention. It could come to you in your dreams, this revelation of what's going on. You know how in the beginning of this message, Spirit said step by step is exactly how you're supposed to be moving. And it is, it's like, that's how this plan, this divine plan is going to be revealed to you, of how this is working out. where something that you have dealt with, a being, a group that carries a lot of toxic energy. You've been dealing with this for a long time. This is the energy of someone, you, beautiful being, who you have had healthy boundaries. You have learned so much about your own sense of self-love and your own soul's mission. But a lot has happened. You've grown so much. You've done so many positive things with this negative energy. You're an alchemist. And so there are things that are hidden, that are going on behind the scenes, that are being directed by, it's a very feminine energy, because this is the moon coming through. These could be feminine ancestral spirits, okay? Feminine energies, deities that you work with, okay? Goddess Durga, Goddess Sarasvati are coming through, Lord Ganesha, okay? They may or may not resonate with you, but it's the energy of wisdom. It's the energy of protection. It's the energy of overcoming obstacles. These frequencies are very strong with you, and there are unseen forces. Now, you might see them. You might see them with your mind's eye. You might feel them. I'm sure you do. You might see them in your dream state or in your visions, but there are definitely divine energies that are helping to separate you from these very karmically aligned beings. So they're aligned with the karmic timeline, and they're not thinking about growing. I'm hearing they've had plenty of time, ample chances, ample opportunities to get on the good foot, to make a positive change, to grow, to choose to align with love. And because they constantly choose to align with hatred, manipulation, sadism, confusion, and chaos, it is now time for them to be removed from your energy. Also, I can't help but notice in this card, this divine being is walking away. I see this as you. So it may be an opportunity where you are leaving or walking away from a situation. But that will be revealed either in this reading or to you in your dream state or in your visions, okay? Yeah, we've got Seven of Scepters, Seven of Wands. So I'm seeing that right beside this moon card, and you know, I'm seeing that as those feminine, divine feminine energies that are working in the background, helping you to protect your energy. Whatever you've been doing, it's enough. It's enough. You don't have to push harder. You don't have to work harder, okay? There's something about your consistent discipline. It's enough. Now the divine is stepping in and doing something really wonderful for you on your behalf. We've got the Emperor here and the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Scarabs. I like that because it's a balance between the Emperor, a very masculine energy, and the Moon, which can be very feminine. In this card, it's Khonsu, okay? And that's a masculine deity. But the way it's coming through to me intuitively is it's a very feminine energy that's supporting you behind the scenes. This Emperor is a force that's bringing support that helps you to sustain yourself independently with the Nine of Scarabs. There's support here. Who is this Emperor spirit? Who is this Emperor? Wow, okay. So we have the Tower clarifying the Emperor. This Emperor is bringing something down. This is someone who's in charge of something, and they're extremely dissatisfied with the way that someone has been attacking you. Now, tell me more about this Emperor spirit. Okay. This Emperor may not necessarily be, they may not have always been on your side or in your corner, but they are in charge of something. This could be a boss, this could be a father figure, but it's very powerful action type energy that's coming through. They're very dissatisfied with the way that someone has tried to cause a tower in your life. And the energy I'm getting is like, you know how a boss or like a very stern parent, you know, you think of a stern father figure, they might kind of be like, I don't have time for this. Like, just, I can't believe that you've made this mess. Like, this is what they're saying to this karmic being that's been causing trouble in your life, whether it's on a job or whether it's within a group or community. This Emperor figure is in charge and they're very dissatisfied. They feel like whoever this is that's been causing trouble for you, this Emperor feels like they're a pain in their side, a pain in their ass, okay? They're very dissatisfied because they feel like whoever this is, it's a Knight of Wands that's coming through that's been causing trouble in your realm. Behind the scenes, okay, they came through with this moon energy as well. So there are divine energies working behind the scenes to protect you, but they're protecting you from hidden attacks that have been coming from this Knight of Wands. And you've been very strong with your boundaries with the Nine of Wands, but it's like, you know, the Nine of Wands is also like wounded warrior type energy. Like, I've been going so long on this journey, you know, it's that kind of energy. Like, okay, I'm tired now. I'm still strong, but I'm a little tired. An Emperor sees the chaos that a Knight of Wands has been bringing. And somehow this Knight of Wands is causing trouble for the Emperor. The Emperor does not like this energy of chaos and confusion. And it's not necessarily that this Emperor is bringing relief because they are so much aligned with you. It's that they see this Knight of Wands as a persistent problem. They may or may not be aligned with you, okay? I'm just putting that out there because I do see that this Emperor is more so focused on their disgust for this Knight of Wands than necessarily their alignment with you, okay? And it seems to be working out in your favor anyway. All right, I'm going to pull some more on this Emperor or on this entire dynamic. We'll see what unfolds. But what I can see right now is that this Emperor is scoping out this Knight of Wands, and they're like, you've got to go. That's what they're saying to this Knight of Wands. You know, it's like the stern parent figure that's just like, look, just stop arguing. And then they assess the whole situation of what's going on with the kids, right? And they realize right away the source of the problem. The source of the problem is the Knight of Wands. There's something that this Knight of Wands has been doing, and not just to you. They've been causing problems over a long period of time for a lot of people. And there's something about like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like, this is it. This is it. Like, I can't take anymore. That's what I'm seeing from this Emperor. They're fed up. They're fed up with this Knight of Wands. And so what I see between this Knight of Wands and this Emperor is both the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Wands. This is how this Emperor feels towards this Knight of Wands. They're like, they feel that they can't be controlled. And you see what I just said there? So this Emperor is somebody who wants to control. I don't see this as someone who's necessarily aligned with you, beautiful being, because I don't feel like they're divinely aligned. But in this case, they are working in your favor. And you know, that's how it goes for divine beings, is everything ends up working out in your favor, okay? So it's like, even when a person thinks that they're acting selfishly, they're actually helping you out. That's the kind of situation that this is. Okay? There's something about this Emperor's stability that they feel that this Knight of Wands is causing a tower to. This Emperor just wants to be in this energy as well, with the Nine of Scarabs, the Nine of Pentacles, but they feel like this Knight of Wands is causing a tower for their abundance, their ability to relax and do what they want to do. It's like they just want to get back to their peaceful life. Okay. All right, Spirit. What else is coming through here that needs to be revealed in this reading about this process of freedom and assistance that this beautiful being is? Okay, recognition and reward. Now, this came out sideways over the Knight of Wands, but also with that Moon card, which is that divine energy that's coming through behind the scenes. It's hidden. It's like your divine energies are working in the background, okay, behind the scenes in your favor. But there's something about recognition or reward that you were supposed to receive that this Knight of Wands was trying to block. You were supposed to have been rewarded with something. There's something that this Knight of Wands stole. They took it unrightfully, illegally. And there's light that's being shed on that. That is being illuminated. The fact that they did that, the fact that they tried to block your recognition and reward, it is causing a tower. Because all eyes are on this. People who are seeing this are very much feeling uneasy about it, because they're saying that the Knight of Wands went too far. They stepped into an unknown territory. They went too far. So this Emperor could have given this Knight of Wands a certain amount of power, but they went crazy with it. It went to their head. This Knight of Wands does not act in a logical way. They don't act in a way that's careful. Okay? Now you think of an emperor, they have a whole empire. So they have to think from a logical perspective. Okay? They're actually all four of the kings: King of Pentacles, King of Cups, King of Wands, and King of Swords, all together, right? So they need to think logically, but also from the heart, in a grounded, stable way. You know, they have to consider everything. But whoever this is, this Knight of Wands who's been trying to cause problems in your realm, this Emperor realizes that they do not have the amount of self-control and the logical thinking that they need in order to be in whatever position it is that they were appointed for, or that they stole. I'm getting that they may not have even been appointed for that. What's coming through with that, Spirit? How they were selected. Okay, this is patience. This is the Temperance card. This card 14. There could be Sagittarius energy here. Doesn't have to be. But there's something about... It's at the bottom. Fulfillment of wishes. Now, this person has been they've been waiting to have this power that they've received, this position that they're in. Okay? But that's what they used to get their wishes fulfilled. They said, I've been here long enough. So this Knight of Wands used that as an argument. They said, I've been patient. I've earned this, right? They argued their way to get their wishes fulfilled. And their argument was that they were patient enough. That's what they told this emperor. But now this emperor realizes that they never should have been selected. It does seem like they were selected for whatever position it is that they're in. But they were not selected based on their actual service, their actual legitimacy for the position or for whatever power it is that they got. This could even be something where, you know, they convinced this emperor behind the scenes. Of course I deserve it. You know, they may have wooed their way into the position. It is a Knight of Wands, so they could be using sexual energy here to convince people that they've waited long enough. Could be something like that. Okay, what else is coming through here, Spirit? What needs to be understood? Oh my gosh. So just where I split the deck there, endings. Look at that. Something is coming to an end with this Knight of Wands because the Emperor is fed up. And you about to get some actual money. Okay, so I'm seeing these two together. Actual money and recognition and reward. There's something that somebody is having to move over, step down. Yeah, and this is a tower for them because the Emperor realizes either there's going to be a tower for this Emperor. If they keep things the way that they are, this Emperor is going to continue to experience more and more towers within their empire. Or they can cause a tower. I almost said a tire. So there could be something here about tires, or maybe somebody's having car trouble, or maybe somebody's getting tired. Yeah, the Emperor is very tired of the Knight of Wands tricks and schemes. Either it's going to be a tower for the Emperor or it's going to be a tower for the Knight of Wands. And the Emperor is definitely choosing themselves and what they have built over these, I'm hearing lustful games. Lustful games that are being played by the Knight of Wands. Please clarify this, Spirit. What are these lustful games? What are these lustful games? Travel in the reverse. Somebody could be traveling when they don't really need to. If this is on a job, people could be taking trips paid for by the company, paid for by the corporation, the government, the business, whatever, like on the company's dollar, but they don't really need to make those trips. Okay, there's something here about spending that's not legitimate. Okay, somebody could be taking trips for pleasure, but it's supposed to be for business. But yeah, something there, something like that. Somebody could be partying on the corporation's dollar or the government's dollar, whoever this is, whatever business or corporation or whatever this is, work environment. It does feel like a work environment. So we've got expectation, community, twin flame, and priestess. There's something here that was going on regarding a community. They've been sitting back and watching and observing something regarding a twin flame and a priestess. So this work environment, they've been trying to manipulate things within your personal life, beautiful being. And okay, this is the Knight of Wands. So there's something that this Knight of Wands wanted to change about your life, that they were willing to, even though you either are in a work environment with this person, or maybe you live in a community with this person, but I really am getting the vibe of a work environment and a community within that work setting, like coworkers. They've been doing work, like rituals, to try to impact your personal life. Look, expectation and community. So they've gotten a whole community of people involved. And they're sitting back trying to figure out how they can impact your world within this work environment and otherwise. Trying to do work on your love relationship. So this could be you that they have been directly trying to impact, or if you have a lover who's in this work environment, they've been trying to do ritual work to impact your relationship. And then sitting back and trying to figure out, well, now how is it working out? You know, like they do a ritual and then they stalk to see if it's working. Did it work? Did it hit? No wonder this Emperor is tired of this Knight of Wands. Yeah, and now they're having a health concern. Also, they could have been trying to send energy to either you or someone that you love, okay, to impact your health, but we rebuke that. Thank you, Spirit. Ashe. All right? You're divinely protected, beautiful being. But look, okay, the way that I put that, Priestess is right beside health concern. So if they have connected with an energy worker that they have tried to get to send negative energy your way, then that worker could be facing health concerns because of the rituals that they've been doing, okay? The evil work that they've been doing. Or if you do ritual work, they may have been trying to hit you with this, but it's going right back to them. Because that's right over Tower. So whatever it is that they were trying to hit you with, it's gone back to them and caused a Tower for themselves. Also, this Emperor could find that they're involved in this in a way that they don't want to be. So this Knight of Wands, they don't think logically, right? So they could have been hitting this Emperor with the same energy. Whatever rituals it is that they've been trying to hit you with, they've been trying to work on this Emperor as well, because I guarantee you this Knight of Wands did not want to remain a knight. They want to replace the Emperor. Yep. And that's why the Emperor realizes that they need to move this Knight of Wands out of the way, because they were coming for them as well. They weren't just coming for you and yours. They were coming for the Emperor as well. Okay, they could have been trying to manipulate a child's energy. Perhaps the child of this Emperor. I heard, and they're not having it. They're not having it. Also, this could be a situation, I'm just getting this because I'm picking up on the potential of a sexual affair between the Knight of Wands and the Emperor. So if there is a child conceived in that relationship, then the Emperor might really want to get rid of this Knight of Wands, because they're like, I just, you know, I mean, there's some way in which this Knight of Wands has tried to gain control over the Emperor. Whether it's through ritual work, or by conceiving a child, or having an affair with this Emperor and storing evidence to use against them as far as blackmail is concerned, or there's some kind of way that this Knight of Wands was also trying to sabotage this Emperor. The Emperor at one time was using the Knight of Wands as a flying monkey. That was their use for them. I'm hearing this Emperor at one time told the Knight of Wands, I want you to be my eyes. I want you to be my eyes. So this Emperor wanted this Knight of Wands to keep a view of what was going on in this work environment, in this community, and they were using the Knight of Wands as a flying monkey to report back to them, to tell them things of what's going on. And this Knight of Wands felt very inflated, like, oh, I'm important. But then they also saw that as an opportunity to get information on the Emperor because they were so close, okay? Going back and forth, getting information, using them. All along, the Knight of Wands wanted power. Meanwhile, you've been focused on your self-love. And that's exactly what Spirit was talking about, that you have been moving at the pace that you're meant to. And see, now I see why that message came through. Because you have been surrounded by these wretched politics and that's some really gross energy. I'm so sorry that you've been surrounded by that. But, you know, you're here in your own type of Emperor energy. I see that because the self-love card is above the Emperor. But I see around you, you may have family around you because you've got twin flame and child. So that doesn't have to resonate, but, you know, some way you are surrounded by love. You are surrounded by love. And that self-love card came right out above the recognition and reward. Okay, so you're being rewarded for focusing on what you need to focus on. Because when you're in a very toxic environment, it can be very difficult to maintain your integrity, because sometimes you feel like you need to get down and dirty and play the same games as other people. And, you know, I don't ever judge that because, you know, survival, right? But what I'm getting is that you have chosen to remain aligned with integrity, and you never did anything that took you out of your true character, and you're being rewarded for that. Okay, and you may also be moving out of a certain office or a certain situation or environment, because that Eight of Cups is like moving on. Okay, yeah, look, rich guy, rich girl, take it how it resonates. But you're getting money. And I don't ever feel like that was your main focus. But hello, especially if this is in a work environment, you don't go to work to, I mean, you know, like in a career, you might do a creative endeavor for your passion and all of that. And ideally, like in the most beautiful situation, we could all have that career path and all of that, and you're getting the stability that you need and that you deserve, but you're also doing what you love. Like, that's tops, right? That's what divine beings long for, and that's what we deserve. But if this is a situation where you were in a work environment to pay the bills, you know, you were going there to get money, so that's what you deserve because you were working for it. And somebody tried to get in the way of that and steal the spotlight from you and get that recognition and reward. They were trying to get your abundance, but you're getting it anyway. Please clarify. Yeah, right on top of this Knight of Wands, animosity. And it was on the fence. So this is something that they didn't want to reveal about themselves. They felt it very strongly. But 3333 on the timer in front of everybody else. Within this community, they never wanted people to think that they had this animosity towards you, but that's all it was. That was the only reason why this person tried to steal the spotlight from you, was because they are jealous. There's a mature man here who's in high honor. This could be related to the government or to the military, okay? But there is a mature man here who is in high honor. This could be you. This could be someone that you're closely connected to. In this situation, it could be the Emperor, okay? Perhaps this Emperor is choosing to act in high honor. I see that what they're doing is going to help you. So, even if normally they're a scoundrel, in this situation right here, what they are going to do, or what they're doing, is serving you. We got concern, thoughts, and entity attachment. Exactly. There's somebody here who knows that this Knight of Wands is not right. They know that their actions are driven from an emotional standpoint. You know, it's like in a work environment, because I was a leader, as a teacher. I was department chair and I was a mentor. And you know what you realize is in a work environment, you have to take out of the equation your personal feelings for a person. And that can be the hardest thing to do. But in order to be fair within a work environment, we have to do that. And what I've noticed is that there are so many bad leaders because they bring to work with them insecurities, the misery in their marriage, the misery in their relationships, the misery that they feel as a parent, the misery that they feel as a sibling, whatever heaviness it is that they're carrying in their personal life, they bring it with them to work. And then if they're hating how they look, they don't like themselves, and they have either a coworker, or this is a person who is perhaps in a leadership position, an employee that looks better than them or that they're intimidated by, then they take it out on them in that work environment. So the way that they grade them on a job evaluation is not truly fair. Why? Because they're feeling animosity towards them. That has nothing to do with their job performance. It's all about that person's insecurities. And mental illness. It could be mental illness as well, because whoever this is, this emperor, they are very concerned, and it's very much in their thoughts of how this person is controlled by an entity. They see it now. It could be something that before they were like, Now they're like, oh, I see it for sure. And they know that this Knight of Wands is spreading trouble and problems. I'm hearing their energy is spreading like wildfire, like a wildfire. Okay, Canada could be significant. Peace and blessings to those impacted by the wildfires in Canada. Okay. But yeah, there's something here about this person's energy being completely out of control and very detrimental to the stability of this emperor and what they have built. And they're not about to have that. No, they're not about to have that. Spirit, is there anything else that we need to know about this energy here? Oh, look. So they realize that they've been wasting their time with this Knight of Wands. Yeah. Parental alienation, to see if that applies to your story, that this Knight of Wands was sexually involved with this emperor, and maybe there was a child involved or something like that. Parental alienation, there's something here about them using the energy of a child to try to either bait or control the energy of this emperor. The emperor is not having it. Mate poaching, so that could be relevant here, where this Knight of Wands was trying to interfere in someone's relationship, because twin flame did come through. So either you're in a twin flame connection or this emperor is in a twin flame connection. I don't really get that from them. So either you are in one or you are manifesting one. Okay? But this Knight of Wands was trying to come between the energy of a twin flame union. It could also be something that they were just doing within that community. This Knight of Wands was not necessarily locked in to one specific person that they wanted their attention. They could have been trying to poach many mates. Okay? Trying to interrupt many couples unions. Okay? What else here, Spirit? Okay. Oh, wow. Go easy on them and stuck in the middle. So this Knight of Wands wants somebody to go easy on them because they are experiencing judgment. Justice is being served. And there could be something that you're witnessing where you're like, dang, I don't even want to be involved in this anymore. That could have been a part of the burden. Also, it could have been this emperor who's like, now they feel like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they realize that they have aligned themselves with somebody who's gotten them in trouble now. Somebody who is breaking the law. Somebody who is off their rocker. This Knight of Wands is experiencing road rage. This is because of their mental illness, okay? They're very frustrated and they're allowing it to disturb them at times when they need to be either off the road or on the road and balanced, one or the other, okay? But they're apparently driving when they're thinking about what they've done and the consequences that they are suffering, and they feel like it's unfair, but it's just the consequence of their actions, okay? Yeah, this person is in need of intense shadow work, but that's something that you've been doing, beautiful being. And that's why you are able to succeed and receive this recognition and reward. Okay, this person has committed physical assault. That's one reason why this emperor is very tired of it. I said it's like a parental figure, like a stern father, and the kids come and they're like, they did this and they did, and then this emperor realizes exactly who the problem is. That's just like the visual I'm getting. Well, let's see what's on tap for you, beautiful being. I'm going to go to this sacred symbols and see what additional guidance is coming through for you. Time, divine timing is at hand. All right. You have nothing to fear. Yeah, you've got growth. You've been doing the work that's necessary. I said you're being rewarded because you've been doing what you needed to do. Yeah, keep your focus on your self-love and on what your soul is guiding you to do. What else for this beautiful being, Spirit? Healer and divine masculine. Whatever energy has been, okay, this is what I'm getting. Like, whatever energy from this situation has seeped into your world, it's allowed you to strengthen your divine masculine energy, but also, for those of you that this resonates with, you are attracting a divine masculine, or it could be a divine feminine, okay? Whatever resonates with you. But there's something about, in particular, masculine energy here that's being healed and that's being strengthened as a result of this experience. So your power, okay, your ability to take charge and take initiative, your ability to, your willingness to stand up for yourself. Yeah. This has been a part of your karmic path. And you've done exactly what you were supposed to do with it. You used it to grow. You used it to grow. But there's distance now between you and the beings who choose to remain aligned with a karmic timeline, because it's time for you to elevate and go further, especially with this healer card coming through. All right, and anything else that this beautiful being needs to know? You're so brave. And you've demonstrated bravery and wisdom on your journey. You're being rewarded for that. Okay, you've got grace. Continue to give yourself grace as well, and those that you love. Those that you love and are in a nurturing relationship with. Okay, grace and inspiration is extremely important here. Yes, give yourself grace and those that you love. There's also something that you're going to create as a result of this experience that is going to help other people who have been through something very similar. Because I see that this was very difficult, but you have made your way through it phenomenally. And it shows in this reading. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I'm so grateful that you allow them to come through me. And thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I'm so grateful for your likes, your shares, your kind comments, your donations, your hypes, and every bit of love that you sent to In Her Dreams. I am truly grateful for it. I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.